Okay. I told myself I would totally be ready, and then my eyes were like, "No, you're not ready." Okay, alrighty. That was a contacts joke. Alrighty, let me get the stream going. Let me get the stream going so I can see what people are doing. Alright, enable and maximize. Okay, this looks good. This looks good. Testing, yeah, that looks good. Farim, how you doing? How you be? Talk to the AB. And I am so sorry about yesterday. I started it, or I was about to start it, and then my internet started going out, and I had too much latency for me to be trying to mess with it. They're doing some construction in my area, and because of that, it is really affecting my internet, so I do apologize for that. Everything looks to be fine, though. I tested this earlier, and it is it's still showing fine. Okay, cool. So I have like no drop frames now, so I think I'm good to go. Alrighty, boy, so much happened. So much happened. So much happened in the gaming community. I've been trying to play Harry Potter. What is it called? Hogwarts Legacy. So I've been trying to play Hogwarts Legacy. That's been kind of interesting. I want to stream games one of these days. If I ever get the chance to, I have to get my life in order because we do this. Okay, we do this Monday through Friday, right? From like 7 to 10. We may do like a Monday through Thursday, and then on Friday maybe I do like a gaming day to make it a little bit easier on myself. But we may do something along those lines, or maybe change the timing around. We'll see. But essentially, the way it's boiling out is I can't get into character and like play a game or something like that. And I do want to play games on streams, and I think of like really good jokes that I would say if I was on stream. But I'm playing games off stream now, so I don't know. I still have to figure that out how I'm going to do that whole situation. But I guess if I'm on stream and not talking about tech, maybe I should put it on a different channel, something along those lines. We'll see. We'll see. We're still playing with it, but let's get going here. We have so much to talk about, but let's see here. We'll start like this. All right, let's turn on these Xboxes and PlayStations because I'm pretty sure we have a few cases on both. All right, so Horizon Call of the West. So the PlayStation VR launched. Actually, you know what? Instead of talking about Horizon, let's go with the VR2 first. So the PlayStation VR2 review, Quantum Leap in console VR gaming, and we'll just start with this here and we'll read it and then we'll look at the end of it a little bit. It's a thrill when we get to say this about a new piece of gaming hardware. The PlayStation VR2 is a true generational leap that makes the old one look like a piece of junk. It's not exactly cheap. It is very expensive. You get a high-end headset with a 4K HDR-enabled OLED screen, a 110-degree field of view, built-in tracking cameras, and eye tracking, plus 2 of its slick Sense controllers with the excellent adaptive triggers and haptic feedback Sony introduced with the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller. So we're just going to go ahead and flip to the end here because this thing is super long.
Another nice touch you don't see on other popular VR sets is built-in headset vibration, which adds a new layer of immersion to gameplay when implemented at the right moment. Roving dinosaurs in Jurassic World Aftermath and explosions in Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge both generate haptic vibrations that pulse through the headset, coinciding with the distance, position, and intensity of the sounds they produce. It can bring the cinematic details out of sound design in games that implement it skillfully, but it needs proper 3D audio to really work as intended, which means the disappointing packed-in earbuds don't cut it quite as well as something like Sony's own Pulse 3D wireless headphone. Unfortunately, you're out of luck if you're hoping any of this will work with your existing PSVR game catalog. Because of how big an improvement it is, PSVR 2 represents a clean slate for PlayStation's entire VR library. So even if you spent hundreds of dollars on PSVR games that made the list of PSVR 2 games in the launch window, you have to buy them again. And considering that there just aren't a ton of new games announced yet, it might be a little while before the PSVR 2 catches up to other platforms in terms of selection.
You need a drink? I need a drink. I need a couple drinks.
The PlayStation VR 2 may seem pricey, given that it costs $150 more than the base PS5 Digital Edition console you'll need to use it. Even so, it's such a quantum leap over the original PSVR in terms of ease of use, visual quality, and immersion that any PlayStation owner who loves VR should upgrade as soon as possible. Its 4K HDR OLED screen and excellently tactile Sense controllers are the most obvious improvements, but plentiful quality of life changes and the raw horsepower.
I wonder if you get full when you eat that apple.
New standard for how VR games should play and feel on console. Like any new platform, its thin launch lineup makes its lack of backward compatibility with original PSVR a significant problem, but one that will only improve as Sony and other developers roll out new games that take advantage of the PSVR 2's unique features.
That's pretty sick. It looks like everybody's pretty positive on the VR2. Spoiler alert, I've actually never had a VR console ever. Not even once in my life. I thought about getting one, but I think my friend had one at one point in time and he showed me how to play it. And I thought it was, it wasn't the best thing, but his was linked to Steam. It wasn't the PlayStation VR. So I never had the original one. And I was thinking about getting this one, but I'm still kind of debating it because it's like, I don't have a place to put it. Because if I had it here and I'm actually trying to play a VR game, it's a little bit difficult because if I run into something or I bump into something, like I have a lot of gear at this point, especially for this tech channel. So I'm worried that if I was to hit something and I knock over something or I knock over my camera, like I could do some real damage. Like I'm a big dude. Like I'm worried that it may not go very well if I actually had a VR set in here. I feel like I may punch a hole in the television, getting mad or something. Okay, and then Horizon Call of the Mountain is supposed to be the new game that's associated with the PlayStation VR. And if anybody who knows Horizon Zero Dawn, there's too many Horizons now. I'm trying to keep track. They always have really bad release dates. They always release with like the best game in the world. Like they'll release with like God of War, or it'll always come out with like just whatever game is the game of the year that year. That's when they want to launch, so nobody gets a chance to actually get to play Horizon anything. Forbidden West, Call of the Wild, Zero Dawn, any of them.
The highlight is the aforementioned Thunderjaw cat and mouse section, which conjures up memories of Jurassic Park at its rousing best. There are a few little nods scattered throughout for big Horizon fans to find a value here. Familiar faces like Aloy drop in to say hello, for example, but don't necessarily come in expecting a dense new chapter in this universe's lore. Outside the main story, you're free to explore your small home base, take a closer look at artifacts collected on your expeditions, and chat with friends made along the way. It's also home to the Pleasant Safari mode, a largely tranquil alternative version of the opening boat cruise, which shows off a selection of the Horizon beastry in its natural habitat. It's short, sweet, and a reflection of the Disneyland-like nature of Call of the Mountain as a whole. An impressive technical showcase for PSVR 2, which uses the inherent wonders of the Horizon world to sprinkle thrills into its sometimes lazy river ride. Horizon Call of the Mountain's exciting highs elevate it just enough above its often monotonous climbing mechanics to create a fun first blockbuster-scale entry into the PSVR 2 library. Through intuitive design, awesome spectacle, and gripping combat, Horizon's first step into virtual reality is one packed with exciting encounters that its slower stretches may sometimes detract from, but never threaten to derail completely. It's an enjoyable, if not essential, chapter of the Horizon story. For more, check.
Okay, so PlayStation VR, and this is supposed to be like the premier game that gets launched on it, but it doesn't really have a whole lot of games. So I don't know how I feel about it. I may have to give it a little bit of time to see exactly what happens. Or, if we have a whole lot of people that start talking about VR issues, then we'll see. But the PlayStation VR 2, what's interesting about it is that it only has one cable going into the USB-C port on the front of the PlayStation 5. So it doesn't really need a whole lot. So I don't know how much can go wrong in that particular scenario, but we'll see. It's kind of an interesting one. And also what's also very interesting is Wildhearts is getting ready to release today. And Wildhearts is like Fortnite and Monster Hunter put together. And I think that that's going to be one of the more popular games that gets released this month. I was going to say this year, but it may just be this month the way games are coming out. And this is the trailer for that guy. And we're actually going to start doing some troubleshooting on it to see if anybody's run into issues. So we might as well get started trying to figure out what it's about. What is that? Ew. Why he got cherries on his head? Oh, it's a flower. Okay.
Evidence of our ancient ancestors' extraordinary technology. The karakuri can be found across this land. Though they still worked when I was a child, it has been a long time since anyone could figure them out. That is...
magic.
Until you.
Magic samurai. Cherry squirrel.
Harness nature's energy. Wield this ancient tech. Unleash the power of the karakuri and shape them into new forms.
It's a job simulator.
I imagine in time how you use these karakuri will change the very way you think about the hunt. Like the karakuri itself, you must be adaptable. And like the kimono, you must be ferocious.
Not enough monkey. If he throws fire poo, I'm gone.
Plan your hunt. Set your trap. And bring down these giant beasts.
Oh my god, right at his elbow. That looked like it hurt.
The karakuri can be used for more than battle. They are your tools to travel with great speed.
We can't even get that in the real world. Why would they have it in this old world?
They can even guide you, as they once guided our ancestors.
Wow. Nah, I'm running.
But karakuri alone may not be enough to bring down every beast. Seek allies and together tame a world gone wild.
So you know what would have been cool is if like this porcupine here, if it actually moved the way a porcupine does. If you actually ever seen a porcupine, they actually start, if they feel threatened, they'll actually start coming at you with their thorns first. So they'll move like towards the side and like come at you. So it'd be kind of interesting to see if they actually behave like the animals themselves. But alrighty, we are a tech channel, so let's actually help some people that are having problems with Wildheart. I think it just launched recently. Let's see what's popping here. So let's go to AMD. AMD, yeah, that's the right one. Okay, let's close Genshin Impact here, and let's take a look at this. So what's the name of that game again? Wildhearts. No. Is that where it's... Am I in the right place? Type a message? No, oh, here it is. Wild. Come on. Wild Hearts. There we go. And okay. Buy our game today and we promise we'll work on it next week. Wow. The price is higher than the FPS you'll be able to pull on this game. Oh, that stings, and it's so accurate. Oh my god. The price is higher than the FPS you will be able to pull in this game. Jesus Christ. That is freaking... Oh, you got to pay for that? Oh, I have a balance. Oh, okay. Is this money? I'm so new to this. Take my points. I'll give you this one, maybe. Give award. Okay, I don't know if that's money or if that's just their currency, but that is actually hilarious. He deserves that. Not bad optimization, and game cost €70. Better save money and just buy Monster Hunter. This game is really tough around the edges. Played on a Ryzen 5600X in a 3060 Ti. 16 gigs of RAM. From its floaty controls, random frame drops to awkward hitboxes, it's kind of hard to justify its $70 price tag. I do not mind editing this review should they they actually patch out the issues mentioned above. It has potential to be a great hunter clone like God Eater and Toikoden, but I'm not really ashamed of playing it because I only paid $5 for the EA Play trial. Kind of reminds me of how video game rentals save you from spending more on unexpectedly rough games back in the day. That actually used to be a thing, man. You can only pay like a couple dollars and get the trial or whatever, and the trial will save you if you know it's going to be a bad game. I think they what was that? What, the walking simulator game? Oh, I forgot the name of it. Something mountain or whatever. But yeah, the walking simulator game, I think they used to have a trial of that one, but that's been so long ago I can barely remember. What I can say positive about the game is that I really like the Japanese mythology with the map aesthetic and kimono creatures. Buggy, requested refund. Do not bother to play on PC yet. If your rig is not an AMD 7950 with a 4090 and water cooling or better, I kind of, that, how you know what rig I got? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of, how you know this. i7 12800H with 3070 Ti. Set every setting to low. Jesus Christ. Turned off graphic related enchanting options, and yet the FPS feels like approximately 20. Even the NVIDIA FPS count to 40, and yep, constant FPS drop on top of that. Optimization 404 refund, waited for woe long. Try this game again when it's on a discount. Jesus Christ. So buggy. Recommended. Okay. Want the TLDR? Game is great, has amazing gameplay. If you like Nioh 2 in particular, you'll love this one. However, wait a little bit for the game to get better optimization. EA has most definitely toyed with the game's release date and price tag. Okay, where's the discussion at? We're supposed to be helping people. Let's help some people. Well, I don't know if we can. The way they talking about this game is like, it seems like they are not fond of it. Discussions. Download. Okay. So mostly negative, top seller. Why is the game being review bombed, but not Hogwarts Legacy, which suffered big issues at launch and it still has issues, is an astonishing 93%. It makes no sense. I agree with that. Whatever Hogwarts Legacy launched, we released a video on it. And then on top of that, we were troubleshooting people who had video issues with that game. So that's why I'm not taken a lot of this review bombing to heart, because I think it may just be people that are just kind of upset about the way the game runs, but maybe give it a chance a little bit and see what happens. But did you read the reviews? It's all about PC performance and pricing. It isn't perfect, but it runs smoother than this game does. So it appears that it's better on console than it is on PC, but nobody's really actually saying issues. There was one I thought I saw. Why is this game being review bombed? Wildhearts is a great game. Download is slow. Glad I pay $70 just to have to download the game for more than 30 hours, as the download won't ever go above 500 kilobits per second for literally no reason. Yeah, I'm totally not about to refund this game. Well, if you're all in, maybe we can help. What happens if you connect wired to your internet over Wi-Fi? Wired to the internet instead of Wi-Fi. What happens if you connect it wired to your internet? Are you on Wi-Fi? If you are on Wi-Fi, prior to moving it to wired, run a speed test to see what you get for your download speeds. You want to call it the website? We'll just call it what it is. Speed test. Run a speed test. Yeah, we'll just do it like that. Subscribe to discussion. No. I subscribed to the last discussion. That's how I have 111 comments. Because now I subscribe to like Call of Duty and Hogwarts, and now every single discussion in Hogwarts I see, and everybody's talking about that. So I don't do that no more. But I will help. I thought I helped. What happened? I thought, okay, cool. I was like, man, I could have sworn we gave him a gave them some information. Goodness gracious. Okay, so let me get this fan going because it's getting hot. So Wild Hearts is a great game. Really, it's just more so people complaining about it than actually having issues. When do you unlock the cannon and stuff? I wouldn't know that. Is this sort of Japanese Lego Monster Hunter? Yes, it's Japanese Lego Monster Hunter. Can't get my PS5 controller to show PlayStation prompts. I've enabled the Steam controller, which causes Wild Hearts to not recognize my PS5 controller. When I enabled the Steam controller with PlayStation interface, I still get Xbox button prompts. Anyone have any idea how to fix this? No, because you already know how to change those settings. So if it's showing you that, well, here, let's try this. Well, what happens when you plug the controller in wired and choose PlayStation from the configuration window? So you can choose what kind of controller you want it to be set with. Whenever it connects, it automatically tries to assume which controller you currently have set up. So if you plug in a PlayStation, or if it's a PlayStation controller, it'll enable the PlayStation configuration. So what happens when you plug the controller in wired and choose PlayStation from the configuration window? Does it still not work properly? With this one here, I'm starting to wonder whether or not I'll buy it. Usually I try to buy the game that people are having issues with so we can kind of troubleshoot it, but I don't see there's a point. Everybody's just kind of complaining about just the game itself not running properly. So this is interesting. This person has a 4090, 32 gigs of RAM, i9 12900K. Not enough to run the game at any setting in resolution. So you got my rig right in the title. I can't even hit stable 60 FPS. Does not matter if I go low at 1080p or ultra at 4K. Wow. The FPS is the same blank unstable trash at 70 to 40 FPS. What the actual crap? This game by default looks bad. It has no graphics to say, well, it actually has pretty demanding graphics. It does not have anything to require something more than 3060 Ti, maybe even lower. Wow. I have 5900 and still problems in 4K. Seems the 5800 X3D is the only CPU capable enough to run this game above 70 FPS before the CPU optimization patch. Wow. In the menu and in the starting area, all I see is flashing colors, like really bad spamming of RGB colors on my screen. I've noticed that it spams a lot more at higher resolutions when I was trying to fix that. Really blinding. Got a 7900 XT. With a i9 13900K and 64 gigs of RAM, and even he's having problems. So we got people who have higher end graphics cards having issues. So there's no point in us even getting into this. I mean, the 4090, 6900 XT, and the 3090, all of those would not. I mean, they've already tried a 4900 and a 7900 XT. There's nothing that we can do to actually help on this one here. This is going to be more of a complaining thing than an actual helping. Okay, all right. I think this is. I've had enough of Wild Hearts because there's not a whole lot we can do here. We can help a couple people, but there's not a whole. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not having the same issue that I was having previously. Okay, I mean there's some people here with questions, but it's not a ton. What is going on? Community discussions. Okay, there we go. I don't know. That was kind of weird. It's a flop. Lost my character customization, mostly negative. Okay, we'll leave Wild Hearts alone because there's not a whole lot we can do on this one here, and we'll actually start getting into helping more people because that's what we do. All right, so we can go ahead and close this out. I think y'all hear that sound. Yeah, let's close that out. All right, so no, it's actually a horror movie, and it's not ideal for this this channel. So here, let's just close out IGN because IGN is being IGN. Okay, so we start off with memory. Okay, Worried Lime says, what are the effects of XMP? Okay, get some water. I was wondering if enabling XMP in my BIOS would result in a general decrease of my latency since my RAM frequency will be doubled with it on. Doubled? That's a little high. Doubled? That's a bit high. Do you have different RAM types in your DIMM slots. But generally latency would be better at higher frequencies. Okay, because you remember, like, the lower the latency, the better it is. So I kept reversing myself, and I was like, okay, I just don't want to say a double negative and sound like an idiot. But with the XMP profile, it kind of worries me that you're saying that it should be double. I don't know any situations where it's double. You know, the only time that it's double is if it's actually at the default settings, meaning that you have different types of RAM and it has that XMP profile in it. So, like, for example, let's say the XMP profile is 3200 and you're down to 16. You know, the only time it would go down to 16 is if it couldn't find a compatible RAM timing with the other RAM sticks that are in the actual board, and it kind of went down to the lowest one. And you'll still see an XMP profile, but you don't want to switch to that guy. That's usually going to be trouble. So yeah, that's the reason why we're asking. I don't know too many situations where it doubles. That doesn't happen too often. Like, you gotta think about it. It's like, okay, 16 versus 32, like, 5200 versus 2600, that usually doesn't happen. They're usually closer than that. It's like 4800 to 5200 or something like that, or 5200 to 6000, yada yada yada. So yeah, I'm a little concerned of what you're referring to there. With my Ryzen system, I have XMP in the BIOS, and with it turned on, my RAM rating of 3600 megahertz run at almost half speed and slows the PC down a lot. Is the same person? So yeah, use it. What? The RAM has these profiles for a reason. With my Ryzen system, I have a XMP in the BIOS, and with it turned off, rated at 3600, runs at almost half speed and slows my PC down. So yeah, use it. Oh, okay. So he's just saying without it, it slows down his PC a lot. Yeah, with the Ryzens, especially if you have some overclocking going on, you usually want to have the XMP profile turned on as well. But yeah, it shouldn't be double though. So Worried Lime, you are worrying me. So we'll see how that goes. But bro, it shouldn't be double, man. That's a bit much. All right, let's go and go to the next one. Ooh, PlayStation. Okay, so IP fragmentation. What you know about IP fragmentation, sir? Fighter Shadow. So I really need help with this. He may be telling the truth. We'll see. I know there have been several other posts made of this, and I've read them all trying to figure out the problem, but I haven't been able to, so I have to ask the community for help. I'm so down for helping, bro. That's what we do here. I've literally tried everything to make this error go away to no avail. I've called my ISP, nothing wrong, restarted router and modem, changed my MTU, manually added DNS servers, connected from modem to console. Oh, okay, so he's bypassed his router. That's what he said. But every darn time I get the same error. I've tried it all, so I'm literally at the end of my rope here, so I need help. If anyone had some same issues, please share fixes you did so I can finally get rid of this issue myself. What's the error, bro? What's the error? What's the error? You have a picture? Do you have a picture? What am I supposed to do with that? PlayStation 5 IP fragmentation error? What is it? No, that's Drive. No. I don't know what he's talking about. Bro, you gotta be more specific. Is that the error you're getting? Like we don't know what you're talking about, bro. You don't even have an error here. Do you have a picture? Can't. I tried Googling your title, but there are no images to speak of. What is... Wait, did he really just... What is the actual problem? We host a troubleshooting live stream, so we will be back on to reach back out tomorrow should you respond. Just let him know that we will reach back out if he responds. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, there's nothing we can do, bro. You haven't even told us your error. How are we supposed to know? Give us a picture or something. Give us a smoke signal. I know old ladies that'll tell me the problem. I mean, good Lord. They may not be able to help me fix it, but they'll at least tell me the problem. Come on now. You gotta put some effort into it. He put more effort into complaining than he does telling us about the issue. This happens a lot, by the way. Like, you'll see a person, like if you're talking to a person and they're telling you all their issues, they'll spend 20 minutes complaining about the problem and like 30 seconds telling you the actual problem. It's like, sir, I got you. I understand you're having problems. I apologize for the inconvenience, but if you give me even a moment of your time here, I'm sure we can try to figure out exactly what's going on here and get this issue fixed for you. And so you gotta have to stop it, because if not, like, some people will go on for days and days and days and days explaining nothing, literally talking about nothing but complaining. And it's just like, man, I promise you I'm good. I promise you I'm really, really good at this. You have to give me a chance to help you. But if you just keep talking about something, we're just wasting our time, bro. I like 20 minutes. I can fix like 5 people. Like, come on with it. Tell me the problem so we can get to work. Oh, PlayStation. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one. See, in fact, that was literally nothing. So this is from This is from Mr. Licks. Mr. Licks says, AC power supply keeps disconnecting and reconnecting to my laptop computer every couple of minutes. Anyone have this problem before? Power supply keeps disconnecting and reconnecting to my laptop? Your power supply? Oh, okay. So he's talking about an AC adapter that he plugs into his laptop. When he said power supply originally, I was thinking of battery. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Are you meaning that the battery is disconnecting you? But he's actually talking about the AC adapter. I have no idea what the problem is. Not much of a tech guy. Talked to a guy for a minute about it. Said it sounded like a connection issue with the Acer power supply, and that can happen. Not 100% if the issue is hardware or battery problem. Hopefully not. Not sure where to go from here. Anything would help. Thanks for your time. Sure. This is what we do. So for this one, what kind of laptop is it? Does it use USB-C for charging? If so, plug it in, swap out the adapter with a USB-C adapter to see if the charging icon stays on. So, I mean, we don't know what laptop he has. I mean, there's several Acer laptops in the world. So, but there's a pretty good shot if we're talking about a newer laptop that it may support USB-C charging, unless it's an older one. So if so, swap out the adapter with a USB-C adapter and see if the charging icon stays on. When you have the AC adapter unhooked, does the battery immediately die? Does it power on? We'll leave it at that. We don't want to have so many questions. He doesn't answer any of them, just answers, does it power on? Be like, yes, it powers on. And I want to punch my screen when he does that. So I would rather just give him a few questions and just kind of leave it at that. And let's just see what he says. But yeah, I mean, he was pretty polite. So hopefully we can help him here. But you know, if you plug in your power supply and then you look at your, bottom right hand settings and it's telling you that it, is plugged in, but it keeps going back to battery and then plugged in and then battery, then generally that just means that you have an issue with your AC adapter. But nowadays, a lot of times with a lot of laptops, they do have USB-C charging. So I'm kind of curious to see what will happen if you have it plugged into a USB-C charger, if that will work. But of course, you may have a USB-C charging available, plus it also has an adapter. It really depends on what laptop we're talking about here. So if you gave us the model number, that would definitely point us in the right direction. Okay. What model? Last time we said what kind of laptop is it? They said Acer. Can you read? It says Acer, sir. What's wrong with you? You can't read? I literally said Acer power supply. How do you not know it's an Acer? Nah, fool, what model is it? So, what model laptop is it? I swear, if he said Acer, oh my goodness, I'd probably lose it. I probably wouldn't even reply. I'd be so angry. What model laptop is it? So let's be very clear in our question, because I swear to God, if he comes back with Acer, it's gonna be a problem. All right, Mr. Licks, you're gonna have to give us some more information, good sir. We don't know what model you're talking about. Does anyone know why my PS4 Slim disk drive isn't working properly? I don't think this is normal with a skull. Okay, well, we love skulls. Let's see what happens. All right, let's see what we got here. Sound. Holy shit. Good God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, do I know what that is? Yes, I do. That is the sound of a cable hitting a CD-ROM. Well, that's the sound of a cable hitting something spinning. Let me check something real quick here. Okay. Yeah, so that's the sound of a cable hitting something spinning. Hitting something spinning. So it appears the drive may be a bit damaged. If you shine a light in the tray, it may show the cable that is being hit. I take it, since you have gone this far, the device is no longer under warranty. But if it is, it's a RMA. I'm pretty sure might need to replace the disk drive itself. Yeah. Well, that sound is a cable hitting something spinning. So it appears that the drive may be a bit damaged. If you shine a light in the tray, it may show you the cable that is being hit. I take it, since you have gone this far, the device is no longer under warranty. But if it is, it's an RMA. That's it. That's pretty much the size of it here. But it's the PlayStation 4 Slim, so yeah, he probably doesn't have warranty for it. But just in case he does, we'll just at least mention it, because he may not think about it, and then, you know, he'd be like, oh yeah, I do have warranty, or something along those lines, or maybe it's getting ready to go out, you know, something. But at least we'll let him know, just in case he doesn't remember. Alrighty, Craboita, whatever his name is. Hope that helps, Mr. Crab. Alrighty, will my PlayStation be alright on this spot? Well, it's meant to sit on its side, but it doesn't really have a whole lot of, well, I mean, it has a decent amount of ventilation. It exhausts a little bit out the back, but it also exhausts out the sides too. Should be okay. A fire hazard? The back part of the wall out is thin enough. Yeah. I'm just filling the back. Oh yeah, they're right. They're right. There's exhaust in the back. I didn't notice, because I'm always looking at the front of the PlayStation 5. So there are exhausts in the back of the PS5. Thus, this may get quite hot. The back appears to be cardboard, so I would just rip it off. Yeah, just rip it off the back. That back there, that's cardboard there. I know you're supposed to have it to match, but I would just rip it off. That way it has more airflow. Or use a fan, or use a miniature fan. I used to do that too. Actually, let me tell them, because I used to have a miniature fan going into my PlayStation whenever I had it in like consoles, and nobody will notice it, but you get to keep the setup, like it looks nice, and basically you just use the fan to exhaust the heat. So I would just rip it off, or or use a small fan to help the heat dissipate from the back of the console. So yeah, I used to use a small fan. I used to have them all around. I also use them on my miners. So you can, so basically I used to have my miners on a string. Well, not really a string, but like a pole, and they would hang off the pole. And then I had these portable fans that you would clamp onto anything, and they can clamp onto the pole and face downward and actually blow air into the actual graphics cards. Those are really good. They last a really long time, but they were made of plastic. So they died, you know, eventually, but they were really good. They were like $30 per fan. And I had like 10 of them, and I had them in different places. So in order to keep everything cool and keep the heat, because essentially graphics cards, yes, they mix air, mix with the cool air, but they actually have like a little heat area around them, and you have to displace that heat. If not, it's going to still get hot, even if it's cool in the area that it's in. You have to get the air away from the graphics card. So yeah, with that one there, that's what I would use. Either a portable fan, because that may look prettier, or just remove the back of it, because he may not be willing to move the back. Vigilante, my man, I'm cloning my storage. Can you guide me again? Sure. Let me see if one of these guys has Restream. Let me just download Restream here. I mean, I'm sorry, not Restream, but Macrium Reflect. I think I already have it on this computer. Should it? It's kind of a no, I don't. All right, let me download it real quick. Macrium Reflect. Free trial. Oh, maybe you want to see this here. So I'm just downloading Macrium Reflect. I'm sorry. Let me actually get off of that. Okay, there's nothing bad on it. I was just making sure there wasn't anything bad on it. I forgot I was using Chrome in order to download because it was quicker. But it's asking for an email, so give me a sec. Let me switch back to chat, and let me just go ahead and put this in. This is just going to literally just typing in Macrium in Google and downloading the free trial, but it always wants an email, so let me just give them something. I am not putting all that in. We will not use this communicate. I just upgraded my CPU and had a mini heart attack. I thought I bent the pins. Oh my God, I would have died, bro. I would have died. So I'm happy you got that CPU up. And well, okay, if you just bought it, then you probably should be able to return it and just say that the pins were bent and let them take care of it. But man, I'm glad you were able to get that going. Let me see. I wonder if the other one has it. Windows 11. Let me check my Windows 11 PC real quick. It may already have it installed. Some of these do. Oh, okay. Neither one of them do. Okay, well that's kind of sad, Anthony. None of your computers have Macrium Reflect installed. That's sad. Here. I wonder if I need all that. Continue. Oh God, it's required. It's required. Are you serious? Okay, hold on. Give me a second. I gotta put all this information in. Engineer. Bent for the motherboard. I worried about my motherboard pin. Is it a new motherboard, or is it only a new CPU? This field is required interlocation. Lord, why? Why are you so difficult? This thing wants to know my whole freaking address. Like, come on, man. It is not that serious. Okay. No, I don't want company. Oh my God. NA. Jesus. Oh my God. Is it already downloaded? Because this is getting stupid. Continue. Please check our email. No, I don't want to. Oh, God. I was just trying to download it, man. Email to register. Oh, goodness gracious. I have to go to my email. Okay. Woo, Lord. Okay. Gmail. Reflect is so annoying. I swear. Y'all can't see this. Okay, just making sure. Oh my goodness. Oh, you know what? Reflect. Macrium reflect. Okay, that isn't working properly. Okay, we'll just do it this way. We'll minimize this, and then we'll go to the Windows 11 one because this one is more of a computer I would actually use. Mail. Here's the, oh my God. Manage your Google accounts. No. This is so annoying. Why are you so difficult? I already looked for that here. It's not here. Oh, it may be on my Whew, Lord. Okay. None of these have it set up. All right. This is gonna be kind of difficult. So I may have to do it off the top of my head. Vigilante, new CPU. Previous CPU was i3 10100F. New one's the i5 11400F. Okay, so here, let's just go like this because this is gonna be. It wants me to. Oh my God. Okay. I have like 80 forms of authentication. So because of that, I can't just straight up download Macrium Reflect because it went to an email. Like I added an email that I don't normally use for this. So yeah, it's and then you have Google doing Google type things, and everything has 2-factor authentication. So give me 3 hours to download Macrium Reflect for a second here. Oh my God. Jesus. No, I want to change my profile. I just want to download freaking Macrium Reflect. And start the download. Please click the following link. Ooh, Lord. That's just too much work. That is way too much work. Okay. Jeez. No, I don't want to change my profile. I just want to download Reflect so I can move on with my life. I thought it already downloaded. Did it download? Why can't I see anything? Or it's trying to download. Why can't I see you? Download. I'm sorry, just give me 1 second here. Your download should begin shortly, but I thought I saw it try to download. Let's see here. Let's do that. And downloads. Other keep. Oh my God. It's so much security. Oh my goodness. Okay. Show in folder. I think it got it this time. Alrighty. All right. Run as administrator. Okay. Okay. Let's close out all this so I can actually use it. And let's make sure I don't have anything up that's cray. Okay, no, I don't. Alrighty. And run the installer after downloading workstation, blah, 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 download. Okay, sorry, I couldn't show it because it was showing some stuff that I didn't want people to see. All right, so I'm installing it now, and let's see what happens with this guy. Next. It may show my drive, so that's the reason why I accept end-user license agreement. Yes, 30-day trial. Yes, I'm okay with that. Next. Oh my God. Reflect commercial license registration. If you do not have a registration code, get my code. Official? What are you talking about? I'm just going to do the trial. Format received for your email shortly after purchase. 30-day trial. This would expire. Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. I hate this new one here at gmail.com. Sure. Wow. 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 This is taking way too much time. I really, 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 really do not like what they've done now. This is so much worse. It used to not be this annoying. Okay. Jesus. Sorry, this is taking so long. Bear with me. I am almost done and we can help our friend out here. This is tacky. This is very tacky, Anthony. You should have already had this ready to go. But I thought I already had reflect on some of these, but apparently I haven't done macro reflect in a very long time. I don't know what the hell an image guardian is. Make sure you turn off all this other stuff, ransomware protection and block tracking. Just install the application. I don't even want the shortcut. I just want you to install the program. I don't like having shortcuts and applications on my screen. I don't like nobody playing on my phone. Okay, so it's installing now, and it shouldn't take none but a second. All right, launch. All right, let me make sure it's not showing anything cray-cray, and then we can get started. Light mode, I don't care. All right, let me make sure it doesn't have anything bad. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Okay. Okay, this looks good. All right, so this is on Windows 11. All right, bet. So what you do here is once you get Macro Reflect set up, you basically want to, so let's say this right here, this one down here at the bottom, this editing drive, let's say this is the drive you want to clone it to. Typically the cloning drive is not going to have any partitions on it. It's just going to be blank. It's going to say gray. It's going to be gray. It's going to say like unformatted. So that lets you know that it doesn't have any partitions and nothing that's set up on it. If it does have partitions, you're going to have to wipe them so that you can actually install the so you can actually clone the top drive to the bottom drive. And all you do is hit clone this disk, and you choose the disk you want to clone. And then once you choose the disk, you hit next, and then you hit okay. And then once you hit next, okay, it'll start the actual cloning process. That's all you do. So you just select the disk you want to clone. And then when you select the disk, now you want to make sure the one that says C is last. These over here don't matter. It doesn't matter what order you put these in. So you can go kind of like down, 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 and then this one to be last. This has to be last. If it's not last, it's going to be a problem. Okay. You also want to make sure, you see how mine says 1.18 terabytes and then 1.82 terabytes as the total. You want to make sure that the drive you're replacing it with is the size, at least the size of the smaller one. So like let's say if it's 500, you want to make sure that it's like 450, 460, something in that area, so that whenever you bring this down, it'll shrink it for you. But if it's 1 terabyte and you only have 1 terabyte, then it's going to be a problem. You see what I'm saying? So you just want to make sure that the C drive itself is not full to the point where you can't even clone it. As long as it's less, like for example, I couldn't use a 1 terabyte drive to clone this. It won't work because this is already at 1.18 terabytes. Okay. Even if it's a 2 terabyte, you can clone a 2 terabyte drive to a 1 terabyte if the storage space is less than 1 terabyte. But if it's at 1.18, you cannot clone this to a 1 terabyte. It has to be a 2. Does that make sense? So you just want to bring all of these down. So you can do it manually, but the best way to, or automatically, but the best way to do it is to just slide it down. Okay, so you can just grab these and slide them down and just make sure that the C drive is last. And so whenever you hit next, finish, it'll clone it. And then once it clones it, you want to go ahead and boot into that particular drive. Once you boot into it and you make sure everything is good, make sure everything comes up, make sure everything is working properly, then you can go into the disk manager and extend the drive. And you do that by just going to start and then typing in disk manager. Disk manager? manager. Yeah, so basically create and format a hard disk partition, and then you want to right click on that C drive and hit extend. So you're going to have an option to extend the drive and just hit next, and it'll extend it for you for the remainder of the storage space that's available on that particular drive. And that's what you do. So you just drag them all down, hit next, and it'll start the cloning process. Once the cloning process is complete, boot with that drive, make sure everything is fine, make sure it boots just fine, there's no blue screens, everything is good. Once everything is good, then you want to go into disk manager and you want to extend that drive, and that's what you do. Sorry, I should have had Reflect up, because I know lots of people ask me about Reflect, and I should at least have had it installed. I do apologize. I'll get faster. That was stupid. I should have never done that. Well, I should have had that up, so that was my fault. Just making sure I didn't have anything cray on here. Okay, cool. Let's get back to everybody else. So let's get back to it here. But yes, that's what I would do for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to it. So we just finished this one here with the PlayStation guy, and let's close out that group here. Let's get on to group 2. Alrighty. So group 2. Big Baby Lolo. I like the name. Issues with the Elite Series 2 core stick. Oh God, why does everybody ask me about the Elite Series 2 and I use that in a different room? Okay, so we're gonna use the Elite Series core, the original one, and we're gonna pretend like it's the 2. Just imagine this being white, I guess is the best way to do it. I have no clue as to why, but the right analog stick on my Elite Series 2 core just won't budge. The left one works fine, but this one is stiff and doesn't move at all. Is there any fix or known issue for this? I've looked it up everywhere and I can't seem to find anyone else who has the same issue. So it's worrying me a lot, and maybe I'm just doing something wrong, but it wouldn't make sense considering the left one works. Yes, I got this new and it just arrived, so it's weird. Help would be more than greatly appreciated. I'll try to edit this when I find a solution if I do. Well, in my experience, we're going to counter. So in my experience, Microsoft is pretty sweet when it comes to their return policy. If the right stick is not working as expected, then you can just return it to them and they will send you out a brand new one. Their warranty is pretty sweet. This is true. So with the Xbox, the Elites, like, okay, so with the Elites, right? So let's just talk about this one here, right? So if you play Genshin Impact, then you actually use this button right here a lot. This button is actually run on Genshin Impact. And when you use that particular button whenever you're playing the game, eventually it goes out and that button cannot be replaced. There's no replacement for that particular button, the right bumper. There's no replacement. So whenever that button goes out, I just use my warranty and they send me a brand new one. So it happens all the time. So yeah, if you play Genshin Impact a lot, you'll notice you'll go through a lot of controllers because that button is run 9 times out of 10. Like if you look at like Modern Warfare, right? It's to cook grenades. So people don't use it as often. You just press it once. But if you're running, if you play Genshin Impact for a few hours, you'll press that button at least 1 million times because you're always running, you're always doing something. So yeah, you burn through that button very, very quickly. So the same way his has some issues with his analog stick, he should be able to return that no problem. So we're going to counter. So instead of troubleshooting the issue, we'll troubleshoot the RMA because that's going to be the best way for him to get his issue resolved is to go ahead and RMA the product. There's no sense in trying to say, if mine is this or his is that, or how tight is the actual stick or whatever. There's no point. Microsoft's warranty is really good. So just go ahead and replace it and just call it a day on this one here. The Elite Series 2s and the originals, they replace really easily. Plus he has, within 30 days or whatever. So he has a double whammy there. Plus he admitted that it was new. So if you admitted it's new, I'm going to go with you, bro. So this is from Lazy. I like his name. Ethernet not working in new apartment. Okay. That's kind of our forte, bro. Hi there. We recently moved into an apartment complex and are trying to sort the Ethernet. We have a Google Nest set up and Wi-Fi works fine. Okay, so he has Nest and the Nest works. However, after fiddling with the wiring, the Ethernet connections aren't working and only work when plugged in directly into the Google Nest to the respective Ethernet ports associated with our rooms. What? Google Nest? Okay, I'm thinking about the air conditioner. But I don't think it's actually called Google. I think it's just called Nest. Google Nest. What is this? The thermostat. Okay. So we're not going crazy. It's the thermostat. It's the Nest. Oh. Okay, so there's a Google Nest and a Google Nest thermostat. Is that what's going on here? Welcome to Google Nest. Build your helpful home. Okay, so there's a thermostat. I'm guessing he means his Wi-Fi router. Google Nest. Okay, here, let me switch it back so people can see. Google Nest thermostat, smart thermostat for home programming, Wi-Fi thermostat. Like, what do you? Okay, let's just assume he's talking about his router. Google Nest setup and Wi-Fi works fine. Okay, did anybody have a question? Stream chat, blah, 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 blah. No. Okay, I'm just making sure. Hi there, we recently moved, blah, blah, blah. We have a Google Nest set up. Google Nest, the thermostat? The thermostat? Or are you referring to a wireless router? Are you referring to a wireless router? I think he's talking about a wireless router because you don't plug Ethernet cables into a thermostat. But let's assume he's talking about the wireless router. And so whenever he plugs in directly, it's fine. But whenever he uses the wiring, the Ethernet connections aren't working and only work when plugged in directly from the Google Nest to the respective Ethernet port associated with our rooms. Wait, what? However, after fiddling with the wiring, the Ethernet connections aren't working and only work when we plug it in directly from the Google Nest to the respective Ethernet port associated with our room. What? We have a Google Nest set up and Wi-Fi works fine. However, after fiddling with the wiring, the Ethernet connections aren't working. Google Nest have... Okay, Bruh, those are just standard cables that you would have on a thermostat. I know it's Wi-Fi capable, but there's no wired here. Okay, before we say that, Wi-Fi. Okay, just making sure. I'm guessing he means his router, Wi-Fi. But it's just called Google Wi-Fi. Nest Wi-Fi. Ah. Oh, no, that's a speaker, isn't it? No. Okay. So Google Nest, by Nest, he means Nest Wi-Fi. Maybe that's it. Tech specs. Wi-Fi router, blah, blah, blah. Smart home connectivity, we don't care. We just looking and trying to see how many ports you got, bro. Ports and connectors. Dual gigabit Ethernet ports. Okay, cool. So it has a couple of gigabit ports on the back, and when hooked up directly into it, he doesn't have a problem. So I'm guessing Nest, he means Nest Wi-Fi. I didn't know Nest actually had a Wi-Fi router and called itself Nest. That is so freaking confusing. But whatever. Google Nest, the thermostat, or are you referring to a wireless router? We will just assume you mean the router. Well, if we understand you correctly, you are saying that when plugged in directly to the router, everything works. However, no, because he said when plugged in from the Google Nest to the respective Ethernet port associated with our rooms and only work when we plug it in directly from the Google Nest to the respective Ethernet ports associated from our room. What's the best fix for this? What? What else would it be going into if it's not going into to the router? If we understand you correctly, are you saying that when plugged in directly to the router, everything works? What else would it be plugged into if not the router? Is there another device in your, sorry, I'm getting sick. Is there another device in your home that it's normally plugged into, that those Ethernet connections are normally plugged into? It's so hard to get a understanding of what he's talking about, because what else would it be plugged into? If he has a Google Nest, okay, and he's trying to plug it in order to get network connectivity, and you would plug it into the Nest, you would plug it into whatever Ethernet port you have available. And I'm guessing he doesn't have many Ethernet ports, because I'm guessing the one that he's talking about only has like 2 ports, and one would be going into the modem. So I'm guessing he only has like 1, so I'm guessing he needs more ports. Is that what he's talking about? Does he need to make it go into a switch? No, I'm not going to ask that, because if I ask that, then I'm afraid that he may not be able to answer all of this, because it's like 4 questions. So we'll just go with this, because I don't know what you're talking about, bro. You have to be more specific. Like, oh yeah, let's ask for a picture though. I do want that. Do you have pictures of what you're referring to? Do you have pictures? Yeah, we'll go with that. Because if he just answers the blast one, that's good enough. Because if you can give me a picture of what you're talking about, we can probably help you. There's no probably to it. We can help you. It's just when you say Google Nest thermostat, and then you say, when we plug it in, plug it into the router, everything works, but whenever we don't, it doesn't. But what else would it be plugged into? It has to go into something. I'm guessing you might have a malfunctioning switch, or it's going into something else and it shouldn't be going into that, or that device is malfunctioning, but I'm not sure what device it wouldn't go into. Those cables should connect to something else. So I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about here, because you're saying, it works when plugged in directly. It's supposed to work when you plug in directly to the router. That's what it's supposed to do. So yeah, I don't know what you mean here. You're going to have to be a little bit more specific and let us know what else is plugged into for us to actually be able to troubleshoot this one further. Lazy. So keep us posted, bro. Okay, we can't do anything on that. All right, Captain Birdseye. Captain Birdseye writes, let me make sure everything's good. Yeah, everything's good. Microsoft Edge app disappeared. I use Microsoft Edge regularly on my Series X. When I was using it the other night, the app closed itself down and took me back to the dashboard. The app has now completely disappeared from my Xbox. I can't find it in my recents, download apps, or even the Microsoft Store. Has anyone else encountered this issue, and anyone have a fix? Well, we can turn it on and find out. So let's see here. Okay. Oops, sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. There we go. And Xbox. Okay, so he said Edge. Bro, I didn't even know. I didn't even know it had Edge here. Obviously it does, because it's the same company. I never thought to even check. EDGE. Is it already installed maybe by default? Well, there's Bing. But no one cares about Bing. Microsoft. Edge. GE. I don't see it either. So I don't. Is it supposed to be in the store or something? Like I. Oh, okay. Is it down here in the apps? Apps for most popular apps. Here we go. So Hulu, blah, blah, blah. Prime, blah, blah, blah. Tubi, blah, blah, blah. Free. Yes, we know they're free. ESPN. We haven't passed it, have we? No. Sling, Ubisoft, Bing. Bruh. You know, out of curiosity, if we go back to the store, oh no, that's right. I'm sorry. I went to the Xbox Game Pass. Maybe that's what's tripping. Here, let's go here. And then let's go up and then search. No, it's the same thing. Okay, if we type in ESPN. Yeah. So okay, so it literally isn't here. EDGE. Bruh, there's Mirror's Edge, which was still a pretty good game, but I don't see it either. Okay, well, I don't see it, but I do see Bing, so let's let him know. Well, I don't see it either. So it appears it may have been removed. However, I do see Bing, and they may have just replaced it with that. Yeah, I don't see it, bro. So yeah, it may have just been something that they did, but I agree. I don't see Edge either. So yeah, well, that's a lot of yeah, that's fine, because we're only just talking about something that's small, so I'm not gonna worry about too much. But yeah, Microsoft Edge, I don't see it. I don't see it on the Xbox Series X no more. So I'm not exactly sure what may have happened to it. We probably can look it up, but Microsoft Edge no longer on Xbox Series X. Yeah. For compatibility, Edge on Xbox just launched Microsoft Edge app. Yeah, we know, but we don't see it. Browse the web right from your console. Just launch the Microsoft Edge app, and you can keep up with your favorite blah blah blah. Mine just worked. Okay, well, this is in 2021, so I was just kind of curious. But for some reason, I don't see it, and it's not working. Okay, are we missing something? We can't be going that crazy. I don't see. Oh, I'm sorry. I picked up the Elite controller. I don't see Edge anywhere here, and it's not in the applications. Is it something I already downloaded? Maybe settings, system, storage. View contents, apps, captures, events, friends, Game Pass, HDR, accessories, settings, Microsoft Store, rewards. Oh, it's already installed. Well, okay, let's go back to him real quick. So we already talked to the Ethernet guy. Okay, so it's already installed. So how did he lose it? I'm not trying to. Okay, how do I get back? Okay, home. Okay, yes, we know that you're there now. Okay, so if we go back to our settings and system and storage, and to view the contents. Oh, well, okay, maybe because we're hitting view content, maybe. So storage device, and click, and then move or copy or uninstall content. You can't uninstall it. So it's either there or it's not. Okay. Can you move it? No. But it's there. More options. Manage app. No, you can't get rid of it. Content you uninstall is only removed locally. You can download it again later if you need to. When you use this game or app, total space savings, Microsoft Edge save data. Okay, no. That's only save data. That's not the app itself. The app itself is still there. So yeah, you can't get rid of this. Manage app. Okay, maybe try that. No, that's what that was. More options. Manage app. Okay. All right. So you can't get rid of it, but it is there. So, well, so his options. Okay. So that answers our question. So let's go ahead and edit our answer because it's wrong. edit. However, I do see Bing. Just found it. It's already in my downloads and it won't let me remove it, move it, which means if you don't see it in the store, if you don't see it in the store and you don't see it in storage apps, you'll see it in storage apps, then you would need to reset the console for it to reinstall. Yeah, so that's what you would have to do here. You would have to go ahead and do a system reset, because if it's not showing up, because if it's not in the store, that means you can't re-download it, and if it's not in your storage, then that would mean that either it's corrupted or for some reason it got removed. But you can't normally remove that, so it's not something that can be removed. Like we tried, there's no option to remove it. So if there's no option to remove it, there's very little we can do here. So yeah, I would say for this one here, just go ahead and do the system reset is what you would do from here. Okay, that's what I would say for this one here. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. What time is it? Okay, we're doing pretty good on time. Alrighty, so okay, cops from Legoland are brutal. Okay, well, this is different. Oh no, sorry. I don't know why it always does that.
I pulled you over because you were swerving, so I'm gonna need to see if you're drunk.
What, so like a breathalyzer?
No. Show me the text on your phone.
But sir, why?
Because only drunk motherfuckers text their hoes at 2 a.m.
But sir, you can't do this to me.
If I see one you up text sent after 2 a.m., I'm pulling your bitch ass out of the car myself.
But sir, please, I'm begging you.
Because you get no bitches, right?
I get no bitches.
0 bitches.
How'd you know?
Honk your horn. Get the fuck out of the car.
What is this? What is this? I was not expecting that. Oh my god, this is why I don't go to some of these other ones, because that's hilarious. But I'm sure everybody wow. Legos has really taken a turn for the better. That is hilarious. But okay, good on Legos. I thought it said Legoland. I just thought it was positive. Okay, never mind. That one noob says, I need help with my Xbox One S. Bet. So recently, every single time I turn on my Xbox One S, all games and apps I try to launch give me the please try again, for some reason took too long to start message. And I have completely shut down my Xbox before anything will work. I got it in 2019, so it's not that old. It has a 1 terabyte internal and a 5 terabyte external. And I'm not sure if this is important or not, but I have to set it to sleep when I turn it off instead of full shutdown. Is there a permanent fix to this, or do I have to just keep restarting it every time I use it? Well, what happens when you disconnect the 5 terabyte drive? It sounds like it's having troubles parsing it. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. That's exactly what that sounds like. It sounds, I mean, it's a 5 terabyte drive. I know computers that can't parse that. so, you know, 5 terabytes is a lot, especially if you have a bunch of games. So it's a possibility that it can't load those games because they're all on the 5 terabyte external. So basically hook it up and try with the disconnect it and try with just the 1 terabyte internal and see if that makes a difference. Well, what happens when you disconnect the 5 terabyte drive? Yeah, so disconnect the 5 terabyte drive for this. That's not a whole lot to say on that one. Okay. All right, let's get a drink here. Let me check something real quick just to make sure everything is working. I think it is. I think we're fine. Yeah, looks fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's good. All right, so let me just minimize that. Okay, just making sure everything is good. Always got to go back and recheck the audio just to make sure nothing's popping off, but it looks fine. All right, so let's go ahead and go to group 3. Xbox game bar mic doesn't work in party chat. This seems like a new bug in Windows 11. When I look at the Xbox game bar in audio settings, the correct input is selected. Xbox. Okay. Hold on. Let me see what he's talking about. Xbox game bar. Mic doesn't work in party chat. When I test the mic, the audio setting display feedback that is picking up on the audio, so I know that Windows is giving me privacy permissions to the Xbox Game Bar app. However, when I join a party, the mic is default muted, and if I unmute, it does not work. Then if I go into the party audio settings, that try changing input audio devices around, toggling push to talk, toggling noise suppression, etc., nothing fixes the problem. I can hear the party, but it never picks up my mic, even though the audio settings can detect voice. Same issue is reported here. What kind of mic are you using? What kind of mic are you using? What headset? And what did you say? Enabling, disabling push to talk on Xbox Game Bar. Well, you check. I did indeed disable all the output input devices that are not the one you're trying to use in Windows. Yeah, are you talking about, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the Xbox or are you talking about Windows? What kind of mic are you using? What headset? Is this in, okay, we said Xbox Game Bar version 5.823.1271. So Elite controller. Who would have known I would have needed this? Elite controller? Can you open the game bar for us so we can actually see what the heck he's talking about? Elite controller? Elite controller? Oh no. I'm sorry. It literally started up the Steam Deck. Hold on. Exit big picture. Okay. Well, this is going to be kind of difficult to do. I'm sure he's talking about the PC. And he's talking about the Xbox Game Bar in the Windows Store. So here, let's do this here. Let's do it like this. Let's go to Windows 11. And then let's go into 11. And let's go to the store here. Any day now. And let's search for Xbox. Xbox Game Bar. Game Bar. Update. Update? Utilities and tools, description. Okay, let's just open it real quick and let's just see what version it's on. Oh, we haven't even installed it. Okay. Fair enough. Well, I know it's on 10. Let me just try 10 then. While that one's installing. Oh, maybe not. Oh, here it is. Well, it has to be. Well, okay, maybe not. Xbox Game Bar. No, it's not on this one. All right, cool. Let's switch back to 11. All right, so back to 11. It is still installing. Wow. Okay. All right. Oh, well, we may have to just come back to this. Is it literally frozen? Like, come on now. Please come on. Okay, here. We'll just switch to 10 because apparently that one doesn't want to work. Open. Oh, okay. So I guess I did have it. Okay, I'm pretty sure I clicked open. What is going on? Why does everything hate me? Xbox. Oh, okay, here we go. Close. Is it already? No. Bruh. Any day now. Xbox. Open. Oh, okay. Maybe that's not opening because it doesn't detect the Xbox controller. That may be the question. That may be the issue. And this one is just being silly. I don't know. So here, we'll just go ahead and go back to the issue. It's fine. We'll troubleshoot it blind. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm over it. Oh, speaking of that, Folded Meat actually did get back to us. He basically said that he was still having the issue and he was going to do a reset he bought himself a new rig to test, but he's going to let us know if he has to. Well, he said he bought a new rig, same old problems, but he appreciates the help. And I was asking him if he had a new rig with the same graphics card, and that's what happened with Folded Meat. So, but with this one here, Xbox Game Bar, same issue repeated. What kind of mic are you using? What headset is this on PC? Be sure you disable every other mic you have in the sound settings and make sure the mic for your headset is set as the default device and the default communication device. All right. So we'll go with that. We're gonna go basic with it because apparently the Xbox Game Bar won't open for us because I'm guessing it needs to see that you have an Xbox controller, which I do, but it's currently turned off because Xbox controllers go to sleep when they're not used. So, and I'm also not about to get up and go in there. So we'll just take it like that and we'll just give some probing questions and see exactly what he's referring to. I'm pretty sure he's talking about the PC though. But, you know, there's several different options on here that he could try. So I'm guessing he probably already tried all of these. So it'd be kind of interesting to see, you know, what may be happening here. Oh, also he can try wired. Also, what? I'm trying to figure out if that will make a difference. Because he may be, I wonder if he's going into this guy here. You see that little hole, you know, for the chat? I wonder if he's going into the actual controller. I should probably ask that. Be sure you disable every other mic you have, including sound, and make sure the mic for your headset is set as the default device and default communication device. Out of curiosity, is the mic plugged into the PC or the controller? There we go. We'll go with that. Because if it's plugged into the controller, there's an issue with so like whenever I was setting up all of these streams so that we could switch between Xbox and PlayStation and Switch and so forth, there was an issue where the party chat feature would not work unless you actually use the party chat feature that's associated with the like for example, if you plug a microphone into the actual like game link or game adapter or whatever you're using in order to transfer that. So like the Elgato HD Capture 60X. So if you plug your mic into that, then you will actually get the party chat. But if you use the headset or if you plug a mic into the computer, then you won't be able, people won't be able to hear you. So I was thinking that he may have a situation like that where he's basically having it going, he's playing a game and he has it going into the PC, and because of that, it's having an issue. But if it was to go through the controller, it would work. Something along those lines. Or maybe he's going through the controller instead of going through the PC, things of that nature. That's what I'm referring to. So we'll see what happens here. Just keep us posted, Pyro, and hopefully that we can get you resolved there. Okay, I need water, obviously. Okay, I'm ready. Where are we at now? We've gone Xbox, we've gone PlayStation, we've gone networking. Where are we at now? We're wireless now. Okay, cool. Let's do wireless. We haven't had a Bluetooth issue since like last week. Wireless device suddenly getting choppy. I use my Echo Show for my computer speaker with a Bluetooth dongle plugged into my PC, and have always had issues with connection after an hour or so of use. It starts to get really choppy and then completely stops working with the odd noise here and there. But the strange thing is, if my wireless mouse is plugged in using the wireless dongle it came with, not my Bluetooth one the speakers connect to, they both start to lag out at about the same time. The mouse isn't connected via Bluetooth, so what could be causing this issue with extended use? Could it be that they are heating up and causing too much lag? Okay, I think I understand what he's saying. He's saying that he has a Bluetooth dongle and he has that connected to his speakers, and he's saying that whenever he plugs um his his mouse dongle into a port that's next to that port, that it has lag. I have this problem too. Well, I have it only on certain devices, but I do have this problem. I use my Echo Show for my computer speaker with a Bluetooth dongle plugged into my PC. And I always had issues with the connection. Okay. I have run into this issue. Oh. We have run into this issue as well. This typically happens when the two USB ports share the front I/O. What you would want to try for this is plug the Bluetooth, I was going to say plug the Bluetooth dongle to the back and the Wi-Fi to the front. However, the Bluetooth dongle signal is weaker than the Wi-Fi mouse's signal. So it's better to plug the Wi-Fi to the back and the Bluetooth to the front. Okay, making sure nobody has questions. Is plug the Bluetooth dongle in the front of the PC and the Wi-Fi dongle in the back to see if that makes a difference. Yeah, so that's usually when I run into this issue. So this happens on the Sentry. So the Sentry, I can show you. Sentry 2.0. So the Sentry, Dr. Zeba Sentry. Okay, cool. You see those two USB 3 ports? So if I plug my wireless keyboard and mouse into one port, and then I plug a thumb drive into the other one, my Wi-Fi keyboard and mouse stop working, or it gets laggy, like it can't be picked up. Happens every single time. And so, but at the same time, I also have other cases that don't have this problem. But at the same time, I don't know if I have any other cases that have USB 3 outside of the Define R6. Define R6. I have this guy, and this guy on top, the ports that are on top, right here. So it has dual USB 2 and dual USB 3. This guy doesn't give me that problem. Now, of course, this USB 2 header obviously is going into a front panel USB 2 header, and then this one is going to the 20-pin USB 3 5 gigabits per second header. But I never had this problem here. But at the same time, I've never plugged two devices into the same set. Like, for example, one would be USB 2 and one would be USB 3, but I've never used both the USB 3s and I've never used both the USB 2s. So I've never experienced the problem on this guy, but it could be just because of the way I'm plugging it in. But on the Zaber, I see this all the time. This happens literally every single time. So I only have my wireless keyboard in here and I don't plug anything else in it. Everything else I plug in the back. So I'm guessing he's going to be having an issue that's very, very similar to mine, or the ones that I've had in the past. So we're not on that one. Okay, so, we have run into this issue as well. This typically happens when two USB ports share the front I/O. What you would want to try for this is plug the Bluetooth dongle in the front of the PC and the Wi-Fi dongle in the back to see if that makes a difference. Yeah, so we'll go with that one. Let's see what he says. Long jumping voice, keep us posted. That was an interesting one. Had to go back to like 4 different cases that I've had in the past. Okay, so this is from Hub. So PC does not turn on. Okay, make sure I'm not missing any questions. Okay, cool. Went to turn it on this evening and nothing. No posts, no bleeps, no lights. Worked fine earlier today and no indication of any issue when turned off. I've checked the power socket and the cable both are working. My thoughts are one of the following. PC does not turn on. Okay. PSU case motherboard. Okay. Button failing to make the connection. Correct. The PSU is very old, probably about 18 years. Jesus Christ. 18 years or so. 18 years old? Wow. Here's a review from 2005. That's not going to help you. Why would I care about a review from 2005, bro? I was 10. No, I'm joking. I wasn't 10 in 2005. I was like 25. Okay, so would be my first suspicion, but has not given any indication that it was about to expire. No burning smells, etc. That doesn't necessarily always happen. That only happens when it pops. The rest of the build is all relatively new, mostly from 2019 onwards, all new components, including a new case. I have no spares and no ability to test these components elsewhere, so should I take a punt on the PSU? Punt? Okay. I don't feel comfortable just being like, okay, yeah. Okay, let's look at this. Let's listen to this issue real quick. No post, no bleeps, no lights. Worked fine earlier today and no indication of any issue when turned off. I checked the power socket and the cable, both are working. So this is okay. This is the equivalent of somebody saying their TV isn't turning on. And it's like, I've tried everything, okay? I've unplugged and I've replugged in my television. I've unplugged and replugged in my DVR. I made sure that the plug is going directly into the outlet instead of going into the power switch. And yet my TV won't turn on. Well, ma'am, are there batteries in the remote? Is what you always want to say for that one, because you'll start troubleshooting the entire world instead of asking them the real question, is there batteries in the remote? So taking that knowledge and applying it here, is the button on the back of the PSU set to power on? I apologize, but I have to ask. On the back of the power supply, there is a kill switch button. Is that guy on or off? If it's on, do any lights try to come on when you press the power button? It is unlikely that the power button on the case is the culprit, because those guys live forever. LOL. They last a really long time, bro. Way longer than a power supply. But apparently but your power supply is super old. I apologize, but I have to ask, on the back of the power supply, there's a kill switch button. Is that guy on or off? If it's on, do any lights try to come on when you press the power button? It is unlikely that the power button on the case is the culprit. Those guys live forever. LOL. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. That's fair. So you gotta ask him, like, hey, because he may have that button off and not even realize it because it's in the back of his PC and he doesn't look back there. You know what I mean? So that worries me a little bit, that he may not even realize there's a button back there. I'm not sure if he's the one who actually built his PC, so he may not even know that button exists. We're talking about a power supply that he's had for 18 years. There's no way he would know that there's a button back there unless he actually works on tech. So it's best to go ahead and ask him. Same way we'd ask a person if they have batteries in their remote. We would ask him if he has that power button turned on. And if he does have it turned on, then we can troubleshoot from there. And we start by making sure that some lights try to come on and then power off, and then go from there. That'll let us know if it's a power supply or motherboard. So yeah, that's what we would do here. So so keep us posted here. Kind of an interesting one, but you kind of always want to go for the default, because if not, you're gonna get blown up. Be like, oh, okay, hey, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and try to change out the motherboard. Okay, let's try the case. Okay, let's try the power supply, and it just be the freaking button, And you don't want this man to waste a bunch of money just because he forgot that the button needs to be powered on, or he missed the button or something along those lines. So you gotta at least ask. So yeah, that's what I would say for you, Hubso. Keep us posted. Ooh. Indolent Bard. I finally built my first PC a week ago. Wow, that looks very naked. That's actually, it's still a pretty sweet build, bro. This looks like my dorm. Like I've never had a dorm, but I've always had like a room with all my computer stuff in it. That's exactly what this reminds me of. I think that's a PlayStation 2. Is that a PlayStation 2? Is that a PlayStation 2? I see you are a man of culture. That looks like a PlayStation 2, bro. Good Lord. This man here. But his computer's dope, though. I mean, that's a gigabyte? It's pretty long too, so it's probably going to be a relatively newer card. Probably not too cray though. But I mean, hey, it's still pretty sweet. Recent games. Yeah, no. This looks like a PlayStation. Okay, well, congrats to him, but should have went with a bigger case. Well, okay, he's obviously joking. This was sarcasm, man. It took me a while to guess it, but yeah, obviously he's joking. I mean, look at that. He has so much space. But okay, cool. Congratulations. All right, tech surgeon. Oh, I remember him. Okay, so this guy is hella smart. So he's on a different level, bro. Like we're on a level, but this man is on a level. Because he's going all in on this one. All right, so let me update everybody because I'm not reading all this. All right, so he has this issue with this particular update, which is Intel Net 2142.2. When we were on the AMD build, we had the exact same error. So it wasn't an error, it was actually a Windows update. So if we go to, let me click on my AMD PC and we go to Windows update. Right, so we were in update and we had this error too. I had to reboot. So view optional updates. There were others. Yeah. So Intel Net. All right, cool. So this one here, originally it had an earlier version that it had me install, but that's what he was referring to, this Intel Net right here. All right. So if we come back to his issue, I noticed that our version is way more up to date with his version. Okay, so you have to understand his version is darn near like a year old, right? Because he's on 2142.2 and ours was like 22 something. So generally the way they do these decimals is like their versions and iterations of a version. So if he's on 21 and I'm on 22, then that means that he's a whole version behind. He's versions and updates behind. Like he's super behind. So he's been trying to do this for a while now. So he's basically been going into the settings because apparently whenever he installs this, his computer starts to run like crap and he doesn't want to install it because he knows it's going to happen. So he's trying to prevent it from happening, but also have the ability to install other updates. So he's trying to get it from even prompting. We've already talked to him and tried to get him to actually remove the networking adapter from his actual computer because generally those are actually slotted in. But if you do that, generally that also takes out the Bluetooth itself. But we don't think he's using the Bluetooth, but he's already tried that apparently. And it appears that he still has the issue and he's tried different things. And we've kind of gone back and forth to try to help him. And we were like, okay, well, we have a lab here. We can go ahead and try it and see if we get your issue. But he was so far in, he was looking at the database files. Like he's in. He's all the way in. So we were like, okay, well, if you're looking at the database files, bro, you are far ahead than anyone else that can help you. Like nobody can help you at this point because nobody looks that hard into Intel Net 22 whatever. The that's for his Wi-Fi dongle. Like nobody looks into it that hard. So we've been going back and forth. He's only talking with us because I don't think anybody else can really get into this conversation. Yeah, he's only talking with us, so nobody can get into this conversation. So the last thing we said was, I see, quick question on the workaround. What happens if you just disable Windows Update? Does this solve the issue as the program is not running? This is by disabling it from service.msc and then Windows Update. We're talking about straight up disabling Windows Update from services.msc. We're not talking about, just turning it off or putting it to sleep. He said it doesn't in fact, it fights back and changes the startup mode for the service with a backdoor mechanism. I messed around some more and figured out more details why it stops generating logs when datastore.edb is removed. He removed it. When you remove that file, it cuts off access to a timer mechanism that seems similar to setting a scheduled task, and it only needs interrupted once for it to stop the loop. In addition, the datastore.edb is rebuilt, but the timer still does not restart unless you do a full reboot. PC went to sleep and I checked if it started up the log spam, however, didn't oddly, and the file had been rebuilt. So there are a few ways to attack this issue, just need to see what the least destructive method is. I think going after the timer may allow updates to still work without the log grinding, but I need more info on how it works still. Also, I suspect it's the timer itself adding the event trace log since there are no related errors showing up. You can mute those errors, can't you? I feel like you can. Okay, he's actually said something else on this. Okay. So I said, got you, bro. Keep us posted. Hope it works well for you. And then he said, well, I'm stuck again after digging down to the bone Yeah, you have. You're in, bro. You've gone Super Saiyan. I'm just gonna be Piccolo and chill in the cut. And I think we made that joke whenever we were talking about it. We was like, man, this man has gone Super Saiyan. He has gone beyond. He's damn near Ultra Instinct at this point. And we're like, okay, well, we're just gonna sit in the back because obviously you can handle this villain, this Intel Net villain that installs and slows down your PC. Like, you can handle him, bro, because you're ahead of anyone else, bro. If you want to go Super Saiyan and be Goku, I'm okay with being Piccolo. And be like, hey, Goku, this is a horrible fucking idea. Hey, Goku, I really don't think you should leave your son alone and let him grow up without a father. Hey, Goku, this is a real bad idea. I really think you should abort and actually be somebody and not have to worry about this and just let it install. I really don't think it's going to be a problem. So I don't know. I'm just going to be Piccolo and chill in the cut and just not say anything this time. Generally, I'm trying to teach you the right way to go about it, but this man is on it. So Goku says, well, I'm stuck again after digging down to the bone. The timers are in short update orchestrator, which in turn is a task scheduler. The task name is under Microsoft Windows Update Orchestrator Schedule Scan. Though when you turn this off, you pretty much kill a big chunk of Windows Update automation, assuming you set this service and Windows Update services to manual, of course. Also, the task requires a permission override to change it. I have not messed with this yet. I'm still considering options. But what I would do if I can avoid breaking it is make it in the service if it goes idle before the next timer would trigger another action in 20 minutes. It should have been obvious, though, that the update orchestrator itself is essentially a second scheduler task. I didn't expect this redundancy. Yeah, it probably does. And I found WAAS Manic turned itself back on since I didn't deny ownership change the system in its registry key, though it seems to be unable to when I include deny owner change to system. System can still do anything else, not edit the service setting. This is just in case someone else reads this so they don't do something dumb like the system completely out, like lock the system completely out. It's rather easy to cause Windows to implode since a lot of its programming lacks. If this throws an error, do this instead in the code. Often reveals they have brute force methods instead of errors, be damned. Okay. We see you have gone Super Saiyan, Goku. Saiyan Goku. But as your friend Piccolo, we have to ask. You see why I said we, right? Because Piccolo is actually fused with Nail. But as your friend Piccolo, we have to ask, what exactly does installing the update do that is so detrimental we have to go this far to prevent it? It almost feels like you may have better luck installing it than fixing whatever issues thereafter, than preventing it all together. That's what we would say to that, right? So, you know, okay. And okay, so you see this happen a lot. Okay, so this happens a lot with engineers, and especially the smart ones like him. So engineers that are just like on a totally different level, and there are engineers and there are experts that think at a 10. Okay, they think at an 8, 9, 10. Okay, and when they are like that, and they are thinking at an 8, 9, or 10. When they find an issue, they can't stop. Okay, we're close. We're very, very close. I'm like an 8. Like, so if there's an issue, sometimes it's hard for me to stop. I'll think about it. I can't go to sleep. It'll keep me up at night. I do this all the time. When you start to get really into this, you start to think of every possibility and you can't stop yourself. So this man is like a 10. So, a 10 at this issue, right? So because he's a 10 at this issue, he may not be able to see the full picture because he's too he's too tunnel vision, right? His tunnel vision is like, I gotta fix this. I gotta figure out what's going on. So he's so tunnel vision. Sometimes you have to be able to pull him back as his friend and be like, hey, bro, you know, instead of going this way, maybe we could try to go around instead of just having that one tunnel vision mindset. Because the amount of work he has put in to prevent this, he could put in that same work to let it install and figure out a way to fix his computer once it started to slow things down. You see what I'm saying? I think if he would have took some of that energy and let it install and then go back and see exactly what it broke, he may be in a better situation than trying to prevent it altogether. You see what I'm saying? So essentially what he would do, he already knows this, but go ahead and create a backup, install it, and see if he can fix it. That may be a better option. He may already know it, but let me say it. And this isn't to him. This isn't to you, but well, here I'll say it like this. We do a live stream. We do a live stream troubleshooting customers' issues. So this isn't to you, but to the next person that sees this. Sees this, as I know you know how to do this, but try to install try to set up a restore point, install the update, and see if you can resolve the slowness indicated earlier in our conversation that may have a quicker solution. If it doesn't, roll back, no harm, no foul. We do have a live stream. So we do a live stream troubleshooting customers' issues. So this isn't to you, but to the next person that sees this, as I know you know how to do this. But set up a restore point, install the update, and see if you can resolve the slowness indicated earlier in our conversation that may have a quicker solution. If it doesn't, roll back, no harm, no foul. Yeah. Okay, we'll just do like this. That way, because this is to him, but this part isn't. This part is to whoever sees it. So we'll say it that way, right? So basically create a restore point, go ahead and install it and see if you can figure out a way to fix the issues that it's actually having. Oh, I did the clone, but it doesn't let me right click to extend on the C drive. Okay, well, what size was the, okay. How much disk space did the C drive need? So whenever you were trying to clone it over, is it the same, is the drive that you're cloning it over to the same size as the drive that it came from? Or is the drive that you're cloning it over to bigger? Because if they're the same size, then you should be okay. But if it's bigger, then that's when you want to extend. But if they're the same size, then you should need to extend. But set a restore point, install the update, and see if you can resolve the slowness indicated earlier in our conversation that may have a quicker solution. If it doesn't, roll back, no harm, no foul. Okay, so yeah, so sometimes it's like that, man. Sometimes you really got to pull some people back. Like I've done this plenty of times. Like I have certain friends that are into it. They love troubleshooting, and it's very, very hard to pull them back. And sometimes they pull me back because I can go into it as well. Because I'm the type, I won't tell you, but I'll thinking about it, right? So I'll be thinking about every single way to troubleshoot an issue, and I won't say it verbally. You know, but there are people who will say it verbally and they will just keep going and going and going. And he's one of those that keeps going and going and going and going until they actually stop it. But sometimes you need your friend to pull you back and be like, bro, my man, the amount of effort that you're putting into it to prevent this update, go ahead and let the update install and then work your way back and see if you can figure out exactly what's slowing down. That may be better than trying to go at it this way. You see what I'm saying? Because he spent like a week on this. He could spend like a day and probably fix the issue the way he's put in this effort. You see what I'm saying? And if not, just roll back to the restore point. So I think that may be the better way to look at it. Basically just flip the situation and see if we can get it working the other way. So yeah, we're gonna be his his accountability buddy and try to pull him back there, because I think our homie has gone a little bit too far on the tech side. But this happens all the time. because this thing that we do, this technical troubleshooting, it's very addictive. It can really get into you, especially if you think that you're really close to fixing an issue. So yeah, it can really get to you. Okay, realistic airport. Okay, what a name. Okay, realistic airport. After percussive maintenance, computer stutters during game. Percussive? Okay. Long story short, there was a not so gentle physical assault on my computer recently. Not so gentle. Okay. The screen will freeze for a fifth or a half a second from time to time, but only when gaming or when dragging open Office Calc around the screen. Office Calc? So he's just talking about a regular application. I notice in particular it happens when assets are popping in while I fly around in 7 days to die. Though it also happens once every minute or so with any games I play. When running Heaven Benchmark 4.0, which is a moving image, it runs between 100 and 160 FPS and doesn't stutter a single time. When running GPU-Z stress test, there isn't a single stutter, and the performance monitor stays between 96 to 100%. I swapped out a known good video card, and the problem persisted. Running CPU-Z stress test performance monitor is pinned down 100% without fluctuation. I ran Windows built-in memory tester, and it says there are no problems. I suspect the motherboard is at fault, but I can't find a stress test to isolate the motherboard. Naturally, I could be wrong in my diagnosis. What do you think? Percussive maintenance? There was a not so gentle physical assault on my computer. Could you be more specific about the y'all gotta see why I'm laughing. The assault allegations. Could you be more specific about the assault allegations you alleged happened to your PC? Did I spell that right? Obviously, I'm not very good at this. Could you be more specific about the assault allegations you allege happened to your PC? What actually happened? Maybe that can point us in the right direction. Also, make sure your monitor is set for the correct frame rate in the settings. It may be at 30 FPS instead of 60 plus. That's the first thing I thought of. So as soon as he started telling me his issue, the first thing I thought of was that it's at 30 FPS. That would explain why all of his tests are good. However, his whenever he moves around his screen, he starts to see a little bit of stuttering. That usually means that you're running at 30 FPS instead of 60 or something higher. That's the reason why I said that, because he's going to need to check the settings. Generally, I show people how to do that, but he never mentioned whether he was on Windows 10 or 11, and it's different. Well, okay, it's not the most different. It's like this. It's let's just do 10, because 10 still has that Intel stuff up. So let me AMD and minimize. It's just going to be your display settings. I think it may change between AMD and Intel, but basically just your display settings and then your advanced display settings. Let me see if Intel is the same way. Oh, I'm sorry, not Intel, but NVIDIA. Right click, display settings. I think that's the same thing we did. Advanced display settings. So display settings, advanced display settings. This is what I was referring to. 60. It's 60. Keep changes. So sometimes this may revert down to 30. And when that happens, it slows things down. And I was thinking that this may be what he was referring to. But system display, advanced display is Windows 11. And what was Windows 10? Just advanced display. Okay, so system settings to advanced display. We'll just call it advanced display on both. Okay. So, okay, let's minimize this one and let's minimize this one. Actually, you know, it's 60, bro. Keep changes. But let's go ahead and go back. I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong screen here. There we go. So it may be at 30. So this is going to be system display, advanced display. Also make sure your monitor is set for the correct settings. This is system display, or I'm sorry, system display, advanced display. It may be at 30 FPS instead of 60 plus. Because the reason why I say 60 plus, because there's a possibility that he has a monitor that can go higher than 60. Because why would he talk about 100 to 160 FPS if his monitor only goes to 60? You see what I'm saying? Like generally people who say 100 to 160, that's because they have a monitor that can go to that frame rate. Generally they wouldn't even post it. So it's a guy thing. But yeah, that's what I would say for that. It may be at 30 FPS instead of 60. That's generally when I see that happen. I see it happen on Macs a lot. A whole lot, because some people don't know how to actually get into the display settings on the Mac. Does he have a Mac? No, he doesn't. Okay, some people don't know how to get into display settings on the Mac, so because of that, a lot of times they'll let it go at 30 FPS and everything looks slow. So it happens a lot. All right, so this is from J Poolman 25. I did the clone. All right, we already talked about that one. And then J Poolman, how do you back up iPhone without iCloud storage? Nobody's ever asked me that before. I understand iPhone only offers 5 gigs of free storage, but I just keep getting notifications about not having enough storage to back up. I'm using XR right now, and I recently purchased a hard drive. Usually I see DCIM folder when I plug into the laptop, but how can I take iCloud photos and transfer to hard drive? Do we supposed to use iTunes? Speak of the devil. We were just talking about Apple. So he has 5 gigs of iCloud space that's for free. And his question, vigilante. Forum, try doing the clone. I couldn't extend. I'm very confused. Okay, so what we were saying earlier is that is the new drive bigger than the old drive? Okay, so tell me what size the old drive is and tell me what size the new drive is. Okay, and then we'll go from there. And then, so for this guy here, iPhone only offers 5 gigs of free storage, but I keep getting notifications about not having enough storage to back up. Right, and that happens a lot. Usually I see DCIM folder when I plug into my laptop. How can I take iCloud photos and transfer it to hard drive? Okay, so he has 2 different questions. So these are 2 different questions. So 1, how to back up without iCloud. Well, generally, most people remove some of the files they have in iCloud to make room. This will allow you to back up there and still remain and still allow it to be free. Allow it to be free. When it gives you that warning, it generally just means it wants you to delete a few things to make space. And then 2, you have to give the PC permission to access the phone to move the files over. You can use iTunes to do this for you. It's been a long time since I plugged my iPhone into my PC, but it should just prompt you. But does he have a Mac? Because it changes. You have to get the PC permission to access phone to move files over. You can use iTunes to do this for you, but do you have a Mac or a PC that you are trying to move this to? that really makes a difference. Because if you have, well, okay, maybe it doesn't, because if you go through iTunes, it won't make a difference because iTunes can be installed on Mac and PC. Both of the drives I see have the same amount of gigabytes. Okay, then you're fine. Then you're fine. So the reason why you do the extend is because if one drive is 1 terabyte and you bought a 2 terabyte, but if both drives are 1 terabyte, you're fine. It's just going to use the space that's available, and it's basically just going to do a 1-to-1 clone. You see what I'm saying? It's only when your old drive is smaller than the new drive, but if they're the same size, then you're okay. You have to give the PC permission to access the phone to move the files over. You use iTunes to do this for you, but do you have a Mac or PC that you are trying to move this to? Okay. Is that a good question to ask them? Yes, yes it is. And it's yes it is, but for a different reason. So if we go to Mac, let me see if I can explain this. All right, so if we go to Mac and, okay, I can't actually show it, but on the Mac, because if I show it, it'll show you my iPhone. But if he has his iCloud settings set up, right, then this Mac that he currently has should be able to see those files in its folder as well, because that's what Macs do. They basically clone everything that the other guy has. So if it's on his iPhone, then it's going to be on his Mac as well. And he wants to utilize that feature. It is better for us to tell him to remove files to allow his phone to back up so he can continue to use the iCloud features so that it gets to his Mac if he has a Mac. So if he has a Mac and he's willing to remove some of those files from iCloud, then they'll just get to his computer without him having to hook up. And there's no need for him to run iTunes because the Mac will just get them naturally, because the Mac will get whatever files his phone has, because that's the way the iCloud ecosystem works. However, if it's Windows, right? If it's Windows, then he has to install iTunes in order to get those off sometimes. It depends on the situation. But iTunes also allows you to back up files. But I haven't used iTunes in years because I haven't needed to, because if you have a Mac, you can just let it take the files over instead of going to iTunes and actually doing the backup. So you can do that from iTunes. It's just nobody does it anymore. Everybody just uses iCloud. So it's very rare to see. So you don't see it that often. But so it's better to try to teach this man to try to get his iCloud smaller than to try to teach him how to work around the situation. So let's make him try to remove files first, because he may not know that he can go to iCloud and actually remove files and then take it from there. I see leftover space. For my disk 1, I see leftover space. For my disk 1, I see leftover space. How much space are we talking about? If it's like 10 or 20 gigs, okay. When you go into Disk Manager, let me see if I can show it. Maybe I can show it on one of these. Let me check on Windows 10. Well, let me check the Windows 11, and I don't have anything on it. Disk Manager. Make sure that nothing cray on here. This is okay. Windows 10. Oh, 204. Oh, okay. Well, let's do it then. Windows 11. I'm sorry. So when you are in Disk Manager, right? And so you want to make sure that the new disk that you have, right? So like you see how this one here is C? You have to make sure that C was the last one, because that's the only way that it will get that unformatted partition. So essentially there is a black section that should be over here on the right that says unformatted partition. And that's when you can extend it. So you basically right click and you should be able to have the extend volume if there is an unformatted partition over here in black. If there is no unformatted partition in black, then you can't extend it. So my question to you is this. One, is the C drive or D drive, whichever, if you still have them both plugged in, is it last? Okay, so like you see how this one, you have this, and it's last, right? Is it last? Because if it's not last, you cannot extend it. You have to have this drive as well as the unformatted partition right next to each other. Okay, so the C drive and the unformatted partition have to be next to each other. If they're not next to each other, it cannot extend. That's the reason why you want to do the C drive last. You always do the C drive last. Okay, it may show itself as D right now because you already have a C drive, but that drive letter, it always has to be last. The biggest one is always last. So if you see the unformatted partition between, like for example, if it's between here and here, then you can't actually access it. You have to wipe it and do it again. You have to make sure this guy is last, and the unformatted partition that you have left over is on the right hand side. That's when it will allow you to extend. So let me know if that works for you, Vigilante. So or if you need me to type it, I can type it. It says unallocated. My disk is 0 and my disk 1 C is last. Okay. So it says unallocated. Okay, cool. So your disk 1, okay, and your disk 1 C is last. Okay, and the unallocated space that's in black, is it at the very end? Oh, sure. So actually, you know what? Maybe I can show you. Maybe we can show it. Let me open up internet. In private window. Maybe we can show it. Extend volume unallocated space windows image. All right. Does it look like this? Right? It needs to look like this, where you have the drive letter, in your case C, and then to the right of it is the black. It's at the end. Okay, so the black is at the end. So if the black is at the end, you should be able to right click on this and hit extend volume. Does it not let you do that? So if the drive letter is, so if the black unallocated, I can't spell, unallocated space is at the end, and just before it is the drive letter, you should be able to extend. Is it at the end? Oh, yeah, if it's not at the end, it's not gonna work. So it has to look like this. It literally has to look like this. My D drive is disk 0 and C is disk 1. My D drive is disk. Oh, right. Okay, that just means that your old drive is just the D drive. That's fine. It's just at, okay, here, let me find one that has C. Okay. You see how this one is, where it has C and then it has unallocated? It has to look like this. Okay. So wherever your C drive is, you said your D drive is disk 0 and your C drive is disk 1. Right. Okay. So yeah, it looks like we're good. So you just have to make sure that this C and the unallocated are right next to each other. Is the C and the unallocated right next to each other? Do they look like this? Because if they do not look like this, then it's not going to work. Whenever you right click, it won't give you the option to extend volume. It'll just be blank. We will continue and come back to our homie Vigilante while he checks on that. But yes, they need to show, like, it has to literally be this exact screen where it, now you can the C drive, the C and D drive are separate. That's fine. That's the C and D. Okay, so your C and D drive are going to be separate because you have two drives there. Okay, you have the one you just cloned, and then you have your old one, right? They're still both drives are separated from both driver. Right. So disk 0 is your old drive and disk 1 is your new drive. Okay. The unallocated black space needs to be right next to the C drive. Okay. That's the only way you can extend it. Okay. So if the unallocated drive, the unallocated black space, if it's not next to the C drive, then it won't allow you to extend. Okay. You might even, it may be easier for you if you go ahead and remove the C drive and just let it boot from the one you just cloned. That may be a little bit better for you, so that you can see it properly, because it won't show it to be D. It'll show it to be C in that case. It's not showing it to be D. D is actually okay, this is getting super confusing. Okay, so your disk 0 says D, your disk 1 says C. And the reason why it says that is because you booted to disk 1 instead of disk 0. But disk 0 is still there. So just ignore disk 0 and just work on disk 1. But it doesn't change the fact that this is still true. You go for the C drive and it has to have the black space right next to it for it to extend. If the black space isn't to the right of it, then it won't extend. That's basically the best way to say that. The black space has to be next to the lettered drive so it can extend. So I'll type it that way. The black space has to be to the right of the lettered drive for you to extend. Otherwise, it will not work. Okay, so the black space has to be to the right of the lettered drive for you to extend. Otherwise, it will not work. And yeah. So if it's not to the right, then it's wrong. Okay. So whenever you want on Macrim Reflect, you always got to make sure that that letter drive is always last. That's the reason, because if it's not last, then you won't be able to extend it. Now, if you are and you don't want to work with it no more, you can create a partition off of that. So basically you can just right click and just hit new partition, and it'll create a partition for you using that space if you don't want to extend. Okay. So if it's not letting you extend, it's not the end of the world. If you want to just call it a day and you're working at it, or you don't have the time to work at it, or you're just kind of annoyed or something like that, you can just right click on the black space, hit new volume, and it'll just create a new volume with that extra 200 or something gigs. So you basically have a new drive with 214 gigs instead of it being connected to the C drive, but you still have that drive. You can just put stuff on it. So you see what I'm saying? So there's ways around it. Okay. If you're not able to extend, or if you don't want to keep doing the restream clone in order to get it to work, there's ways around it. Okay. You can just right click and hit new. And is it new? Right click, and then yeah, it should just be like right click and then create a new partition, and it should still let you do that. So worst case scenario, you can just do that if you're comfortable with having another drive that is 214 gigs. And so just let me know which way you're able to do that, but you should be able to extend it if they're right next to each other. If they're not right next to each other, you can't extend it. That's the only time it will actually give you that icon. Okay, let's go to our next person. Oh, it's 9:19. Jesus Christ. We've been going ham. Okay, so let's do this. We'll finish with group 4, and we may call it. We'll keep an eye on Vigilante. Just make sure that he's okay. But yeah, that's what I say for this one here. You can use iTunes. But yeah, we don't want this man to go away from using the Apple iCloud. I would rather him remove space than to go away from it, because it's easier to get things migrated over. I don't know anyone who still uses iTunes to move phone, to hook up the phone and all that kind of stuff. But if he has a Windows PC, then yes, iTunes will be the way to go. But we don't know what kind of PC he has, so we're just going to assume he has a Mac, because most people who have iPhones also end up having Macs. Well, not even the most. I would say a higher majority. I wouldn't say the most, because it's probably like 54 and 46. You know what I mean? So it's better to just say the majority. Oh, even that doesn't sound good. Let's say 56%. We'll just say 56%. That sounds better. Elite Series 2 core control quality issues. I remember this. I thought we already talked about this issue. This is the guy who was talking about how the click buttons don't work. So we literally paused our stream, went and got the other Xbox controller, and then tested it ourselves. We tested the Elite, the core, and the regular controller, and we just didn't see a big deal. Or just a very minor change between the elites and the regulars. Okay, so we tested this on our live stream. We have the Elite 2, the original Elite, and a brand new Xbox controller that came with the Xbox Series X. So our findings were the housing of the elites are identical to, at least to sound and feel. However, the Xbox controller is a bit lighter on the press. For example, I can push down the sticks with my pinky on the regular controller, but it's more of a pain when I do so on the elites. I'm guessing they just tried to make the housing more sturdy, and as a result, the pressure required has been increased. There is definitely more force needed on the core Elite I have. I'm purchasing another to test out. I can't live with the thumbsticks the way they are. Understandable. Understandable. But yeah, both of my elites feel the same. But yeah, both of my elites feel the same. So maybe feel the same. So it's possible yours may be malfunctioning as well. Let us know if you have questions, bro. Yeah, there's nothing more we can do here. We tried the Elite 2, we tried the original Elite, and they felt the same. Okay, so they felt the same to us, and the Xbox controller is a little bit lighter, but it wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't anything to be upset about. You know, I'm guessing he's really wanting to make sure that he gets those those knife kills. He better switch the button B on Call of Duty. Aww. He better switch to the button B on Call of Duty or he's gonna have a problem. But this is from MS Systems or Microsoft Systems. Morning Coffee Battle Station. That is the cutest thing ever. I used to have a PC that was super tiny. I loved it. It was so great, but it was so slow. It was a long time ago, back when they first started making smaller PCs. They're not powerful horses that can run video games nowadays, but back then, you know, it was like a hard drive or flash and it was so slow. But this guy is the cutest thing ever. Morning Coffee Battle Station. Watch it be like a 7950X in here with 64 gigs of RAM and like a 4 terabyte NVMe. Like it can run any game. It can run Crysis at 1080p. Here's a little bit. I swear to God. I knew it was going to be something strong. It's not even going to be close to bad. A Noctua L9A, 32 gigs DDR4. I knew it was going to be powerful. What do you do with it? Yeah. I knew it was gonna be powerful. Aww. It's like looking at a picture of a cute kitten. Yeah, I don't know what you would do with that. It's cute though. I mean, I like it. It would be even more pro if those antennas for the Wi-Fi can be flushed against the actual chassis. Oh, and then they can flip up and then flip back down. That'd be so sick. That'd be so sick. I'd lose myself if that. Oh, it does it! It does it! It totally does it! That's what that is. Oh my God, that is so sweet. Oh my God. I thought that was the RAM. When I was looking at it, I was like, oh, that's just the RAM. But no. That is the antennas. Okay, that's too cute. That's too damn cute. I'm sorry. That is like a cat video. It's like looking at a picture of a cute kitten. No. That's like looking at a cat video. A cat video. Cuteness overload. Cuteness overload. Oh my God. That is too much. That is too much. That is too much. I've never seen one with a recessed antennas. Like that is so clean. That is so clean. Oh my God, that is cute. Yeah, you gotta get a man his props. That is clean as hell. Congratulations. That's a cool little build. And matter of fact, it's probably stronger than most computers, most laptops, and it's still portable. Like that is nice. That is super nice. I don't know what it is. It's almost it's like having the Nux. It reminds me of the Nux, but even the Nux, I don't know how their Wi-Fi antennas work nowadays, but I thought they always had kind of like an extender to kind of go for their antennas, but I'm not really sure anymore for the Nooks. But that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of a custom Nook. Okay, controller issue with the video. All right, let's check for Vigilante. Haven't seen him, but Vigilante, let us know. Or it's probably past his bedtime though. We'll probably pick up tomorrow, but it's not that big a deal. We'll pick up with him tomorrow and make sure that he's okay. But yeah, he can go ahead and create a new partition if he's unable to extend and he doesn't want to waste any more time. He can just create a new partition. It'll be good. He'll just have a drive that's 214 gigs, which is a pretty decent sized drive, so it'll probably be okay. All right, so this is from Decrobe 94, and he has a controller issue. Let's see what he's talking about here. Always muted. Always muted. Damn, and it's hooked up directly. Well, so on the back of the PlayStation controller, there is a reset button. Hold that down for 30 seconds to see if it makes a difference. Also, is that USB-C cable coming out of it going into the PS5? We have to ask. But what I'm referring to is this. Let me hold it properly. Okay, you see that little button right there, right here? That's a reset button. Only the PlayStation controllers have that. The Xbox doesn't have that, but the PlayStation has the ability to reset. So also is the USB-C cable coming out of it going into the PlayStation 5, and just making sure of that. But yeah, try the reset button to see if that resolves the issue. But I think everybody else said the same thing. Maybe try a hard reset. If the pin size hole on the back of it, press it with either pin for clip for 5 seconds and see how that goes. Yeah. So yeah, reset. That's what you would do for that situation. All right, group 4 is done and it's 9:30. We haven't gotten to any of these, but we'll do one more and we'll call it. This is a repeat. Windows 10 PC will only connect to my phone portable hotspot when it's set to 2.4 and not 5 gig. Oh, we went over this. And we were talking about his adapter, and his adapter did have the ability to see both dual band. So basically you can see 2.4 and 5 gig bandwidths. And so first thing I would say is to make sure the USB dongle is on the most up-to-date version. You can find that here. Next, I would say go to settings for your hotspot by clicking on it, then go down to advanced and make sure the protected management frames is turned off, as well as power saving mode is off, and see if that resolves your issue. Let us know if it doesn't. And this was because he has a phone. He has an Android. And so we used our Android in order to figure out what his problem was. And he said, thanks for the reply. I have the latest drivers installed already. Also, I cannot find the protected management frame settings on my phone. Maybe it's not on Android 13. Well, sir. What version of Android am I on? Settings. Advanced features, general, about phone, model, series, software information. Oh, okay, maybe he's right. Yeah, I'll see that. Oh, sorry. See, Android version 12. He may be right. You may be right, sir. I was on Android version 12. Let me update to 13 and get back with you. Next, I would say go to settings for your hotspot by clicking on it and then go down to advanced and make sure protected management frames is turned off, as well as power saving mode is turned off. So settings, I said to go down to your hotspot. Which Android does he have? Android 13 GSI. I was trying on Android 12 on a Note. And we're talking about hotspots. So that's going to be Wi-Fi. And then we went to mobile hotspot and tethering. And then we turned it on. And then once we turned it on, it gave us more options. Mobile hotspot and tethering. And then we went into mobile hotspot and tethering. Okay, that's what we meant, and hit configure. And then advanced. Okay, maybe we should be more specific, because that is hella hard to get to. And get Android 12. But it's actually hidden. So when you go to mobile hotspot, and enable it in the settings, you actually literally click on the mobile hotspot, do it like this, mobile hotspot name. So let me see. I can show y'all if no, I can't show y'all, because it whenever you click on it, it shows you your password. You actually literally click on the mobile hotspot name, then scroll to the bottom, where it says configure, then scroll to the bottom, then scroll to the bottom where it says advanced. Then scroll even further, then scroll to the bottom again, and those options should be there. You may be right, sir. I was on Android 12, but it's actually hidden. So let me try to give better directions. As my previous, make sure now I would say go to settings hotspot by clicking on it, and then go down to advanced, better directions, as they were a bit sloppy. Okay, so when you go to the mobile hotspot and enable it in the settings, you actually literally click on the mobile hotspot name, then scroll to the bottom where it says configure, do that properly, where it says configure, then scroll to the bottom where it says advanced. Advanced, then scroll to the bottom again, and those options should be there. There we go. We got to give them better instructions. Those instructions were crap, because it's not, it's advanced, and then make sure it's turned on, but you won't see it. It's hidden. You have to go into configure in order to see it, and that's probably what he saw. So that's gonna be on me. That's my bad. I should have gave him better instructions. But with this here, we'll go ahead and call it. Vigilante, we stream tomorrow, so let me know if you have any problems, bro. But yeah, you should be able to extend. If you can extend, it's not the end of the world. You can always create a new partition off of that one, or you can try to redo it again and make sure that those two are right next to each other. Either way is fine. But 200 gig for an extra external drive isn't exactly the end of the world. You can still put stuff on it. So that's what I would say for you, Vigilante. Keep us posted, bro. And we will pick back up tomorrow. So if you like this video, go on the like button. If you really like it, go ahead and subscribe. I love you either way. Take care. All the best, and bye. I will